African rock python, the silent assassin of the savannah. Under the dense African canopy, sunlight filters through each leaf. This vast grassland hides countless forms of life. In the middle of the savannah, a massive figure moves silently. This is the African rock python, one of the largest reptiles on the planet. Its length can reach up to 7 meters, muscles packed tightly beneath patterned skin. This is a predator that needs no venom. Its power lies in its crushing force, capable of breaking bones. With just one tight coil, the prey has no second chance. A troop of baboons moves across the savannah in search of food. They stay alert to every danger around them. But a young baboon strays from the troop. Curious about the world, it doesn't see the danger lurking nearby. Hidden under the grass, the python has locked onto its target. Its body remains motionless, blending perfectly into its surroundings. A lightning-fast strike. The python's jaws clamp down, curved teeth sinking into the prey. There is no escape. The python begins to coil around the baboon's body. Each exhale tightens the grip even more. A desperate cry echoes across the savannah. The baboon troop recognizes the danger and rushes toward the sound. But it is too late. The crushing force has stopped the prey's heart and lungs. The troop arrives only to witness the end. The baboons scream fiercely, trying to intimidate the python into releasing the prey. But the python does not budge, holding tightly to its prize. Knowing they cannot save their companion, the troop gradually retreats. They have lost a member. This is a lesson of survival. The python begins the process of swallowing its prey. Its lower jaw separates from the skull, mouth opening unnaturally wide. Bit by bit, the prey's body disappears into the python's stomach. The process takes hours, but the python is patient. After feeding, the snake will rest for several days to digest. This is how it has survived for millions of years. By the riverbank, the python comes to drink. But beneath the water, a crocodile is waiting. The crocodile lunges upward, jaws clamping onto the python's body. But the python reacts instantly, coiling tightly around the crocodile's head. A life or death battle begins. Neither predator is willing to release. Water splashes everywhere. From afar, another figure watches. A golden eagle, the aerial hunter, observes with razor-sharp eyes. The eagle judges its moment. Both the python and the crocodile are exhausted. This is a rare opportunity. It dives like an arrow. The first strike misses. But the eagle does not give up, circling back immediately. The second attempt is precise. Talons clamp onto the python's body, yanking it free from the crocodile's jaws. The eagle rises into the air, the python writhing in its grip. Below, the crocodile watches in disbelief. The eagle lands on the riverbank, seemingly victorious. But the python is not yet defeated. The python suddenly strikes back, coiling around the eagle's body, tightening beneath its wide wings. The eagle struggles, but the python's strength is overwhelming. Slowly, the great bird stops moving. The python releases its grip and quietly slithers into the reeds. The victory was hard fought, but it survived. But the crocodile has not forgotten. From the dark water, it returns with the intent of revenge. The exhausted python lies beside the eagle's body, unaware of the danger approaching from behind. With a powerful attack, the crocodile drags the eagle's corpse underwater. The water turns red. The python tries to crawl away, but is too weak. The crocodile has taken what it wanted. Beneath the dark water, the crocodile disappears with its prize. The circle of life continues. The python survives but is drained. It retreats into the bushes, needing time to recover. In nature, victory can quickly turn into defeat. There is no creature that is truly invincible. Each day brings new challenges. Every opportunity carries risk. Such is the law of the savannah. A few days later, the python regains some strength. It resumes hunting. Instinct never rests. A lion cub plays far from its pride. Still unaware of danger, it does not know it is entering another predator's territory. The python detects the cub. Ideal size, perfect distance. An opportunity too good to ignore. The python strikes. The cub reacts in time, leaping away. Its survival instincts awaken. The python grabs the cub, beginning to coil tightly. The cub screams, its cries echoing across the savannah. The pride hears the cries. Adult lions immediately rush toward their young. The adults arrive just in time. They attack the python from multiple sides, forcing it to release the cub. The cub is saved, trembling beside its mother. The python retreats quickly, knowing it cannot fight the entire pride. In the middle of the river, an impala is stranded on a tiny island. Water surrounds it with no escape route. Crocodiles spot it. They circle the island, waiting patiently. The impala has few choices left. The impala bravely leaps into the water, trying to swim to shore. Crocodiles attack immediately. With incredible agility, the impala dodges the jaws. It swims with all its strength toward land. The impala reaches the shore safely, but fate has not finished with it. A rock python waits on the bank. Exhausted after escaping the crocodiles, the impala has no strength left to run. The python attacks swiftly. Coils tighten around the impala's body. The chase ends. The python's feast begins. The impala's fate is sealed, not by the crocodiles, but by the patient hunter on land. A new day rises. As the python rests, a figure appears behind it. The honey badger, one of the fiercest small animals in the savannah. The honey badger has thick skin, sharp claws, and extremely strong jaws. It decides to attack the python to steal its meal. The python gives up and becomes the honey badger's prey. The hunter has become the hunted. Though injured and exhausted, it still survives. In the wild, the strongest does not always win. The savannah quiets as night falls. The traces of the battles remain, telling the story of the day. The African rock python, the legless ruler, has learned its lesson. In nature, no creature is truly invincible. This noon, a herd of Thompson's gazelle graze idly, tails flicking at flies. The plain, silent as glass. 100 meters off, several round heads lie low in the grass, eyes locked on the herd. They are not lions, but bear black lines from eye to muzzle like the tracks of dried tears, the mark of the fastest runner. This is July, a coalition of brother cheetahs from the same mother. The leader, named Sabi, presses himself low and slips through the grass, while the others spread to either side. They form no circle, only wait to cut off the angles for when the panicked prey breaks and bolts. All at once, Sabi bursts out like a bolt of lightning, hitting 100 kilometers an hour in just seconds. His forepaw hooks the prey down, his jaws lock onto the throat. The prey goes limp. The whole coalition lies collapsed beside the carcass, chests heaving fast. For that sprint has burned away all their energy. Their bodies need a few minutes to cool before they can eat. The moment they recover, the group gulps down their meal in haste, glancing in every direction. No big cat has its prey stolen as often as the cheetah, so for them, to eat fast is to eat it all. Bellies full, they settle side by side on a mound, tongues gliding over a companion's ears. For cheetahs, those grooming licks are the very glue that binds the band of brothers. When finished, Sabi pauses by an acacia trunk, leaving a streak of urine to declare his claim. The others scatter too, sending their own scent marks into each bush and small mound at the edge of the territory. Patrol done, they lie back on a high rise, casting their eyes across the grassland. To the south, gazelle are grazing. To the east, impala flit in and out, all within a territory of a few square kilometers. Toward evening, the wind shifts, and the leader snorts in alarm. A strange scent, not gazelle, not hyena, but heavier, sharper, more menacing. It's a lion. The whole group springs up, looking into the wind. At the edge of the tall grass to the west, a golden shape looms closer. The steps too light, the body too slender. A lioness, sure enough. She walks alone, worn and weary, her frame far outmatching any single cheetah. After days of failed hunts, her hollow belly drives her toward wherever the prey is thickest. The uninvited guest calmly sets foot in the hunting ground, not bothering to hide. She crosses the grassland, sending the whole herd of gazelle jerking their heads up and backing away in fright. On the high rise, the cheetahs watch helplessly as their familiar prey scatters. That stranger hasn't so much as lifted a claw, merely passed through, yet her pungent scent alone has been enough to sweep away all their prey. In the middle of the hunting ground, she lowers her body to stalk, eyes fixed on the impala. The lioness is a pride's main hunting force, and now her empty belly only fans her resolve into flame. The whole coalition glares, watching the intruder hunt in the heart of their own territory. Sabi flattens his ears, eyes narrowing. His younger brothers press closer to him than usual, silent as glass. A few powerful strides bring her right up to the impala. She slams her massive body down to pin the prey to the ground, then clamps its throat tight. The cry chokes off, and the raw stench of blood spreads, sending the gazelle to the south into panic, retreating a few stretches farther. The whole hunting ground grows sparser, all because of one scent. She eats at her leisure, not glancing about like the cheetahs, for she is the strongest one here. But a single lone impala is nothing to a belly gone hollow after so many days lost from the pride. She lies right there beside the pile of bones. For a strong loner with nowhere to shelter, wherever the prey is plentiful is a place worth lingering a little longer. As the sun slants low, the whole area is empty of prey, for the lion's scent now lingers everywhere. The gazelle have withdrawn far off. The impala have melted into the grass. Before the coalition, the grassland lies bare, not a shadow of prey. The cheetahs lie in wait a stretch from the intruder, swallowing hard as they watch her sleep. The morning was peaceful, yet by evening an outsider has seized their patch of hunting ground. Sabi exchanges a glance with his two comrades, a silent agreement. The morning's contentment has vanished, giving way to frustration. When the source of their survival is threatened, even the cautious turn reckless. Then the leader springs up and moves toward the sleeping stranger. No haste, just a steady pace across the grass. His comrades fall in behind, each on a different heading, 10 meters apart. Hearing the footsteps, she lifts her head to see the cheetahs closing in from all sides. She stays lying down, used to cheetahs avoiding confrontation, but it is strange to see them advance of their own accord. She heaves up, snarling, a low sound rolling across the plain. The roar that once cowed every hunter now means nothing, for the cheetahs keep circling, always beyond her reach. In a flash, the leader darts across right in front of her muzzle, then swerves sharply aside. The lioness's claws swing out and strike only empty air. A powerful swipe, but slower than the cheetah's turn. From behind, a comrade rushes in, then vanishes the instant the stranger wheels around. A moment later, another appears at her opposite flank, sending her spinning in circles, bewildered. Turning this way and that, the lioness grows more exhausted, while the cheetah band has yet to tire. That massive mass of muscle shifts direction heavily, while the light ones keep toying with her at ease. Furious, she chases the leader, but within a few steps, she flags as he cuts away and pulls far ahead. The moment she turns, two comrades close in, harassing her without pause. She twists to bite, misses, and roars, then lunges again only to snap at empty air. Over 100 kilos of muscle become useless, for the cheetahs slip away before her claws can reach. Panting hard, the beast halts and watches the group circle without rest. She realizes that to stay is only to be harassed endlessly, striking forever without landing a blow. She turns to leave. But then, after a brief moment, the beast suddenly wheels back around, hurling one final lunge with all her strength. Her target is the leader, the cheetah, just a beat slow to react. At that very instant, the whole band pounces in together. One flashes across before her muzzle as a lure. Another strikes from behind her back, leaving the lioness spinning too fast to find her bearings. At last she stops dead, gasping and spent. Before her, the cheetah band still patiently toys with her. The fight has cost far too much strength for no reward. Quietly, she gives up. This time, she leaves for good, her steps far more hurried, not bothering to look back. Behind her, the coalition holds its formation until the beast disappears entirely. The whole band nestles close to Savvy, tongues brushing gently over the bleeding wound. For cheetahs, grooming one another is a bond of affection that has run deep since birth. On the wind, the intruder's scent slowly fades. To the south, the gazelle warily return to their familiar grass as the lion's smell dissolves. The prey comes back, and with it, peace. Before long, another gazelle drops right on the same patch of grass as before. This time, no lion's scent lingers to spoil the group's meal. The July brothers gather around the carcass, body against body, beneath the setting sun. For them, to eat on their own territory is worth far more than a wound along the flank. At the western edge where the lioness slipped away, that scent has not yet faded. She has learned this place holds plenty of prey, and the land is good. She will not forget this rich hunting ground. From above, the East African savannah appears as an endless golden canvas, where the shadow of large wings glides silently in parallel with a dark streak moving close to the ground. Beneath an acacia tree, a pride of lions rests after a meal. Bloodstains still ring their mouths, completely unaware of the brown eagle circling overhead and gradually lowering its arc. Under the low grass nearby, a black mamba nearly 3 meters long slides across a trail, carrying in its fangs enough venom to kill 10 grown adults. The eagle suddenly folds its wings and dives, talons driving straight into the mamba's midsection. Wind screams through the feathers as the large shadow rapidly covers the grass below. Talons pin the target to the red dust. The mamba immediately coils in resistance, whipping its head around at extreme speed, its venom-loaded fangs ready to strike. The mamba tightens around the eagle's wing, locking it in place and leaving the eagle thrashing helplessly as the venomous fangs continue searching for an angle on the neck. The eagle pecks repeatedly into the snake's body, but each strike only causes the mamba to tighten further. 2 bodies roll across the red earth, dust billowing in clouds, feathers and scales tangling together. The sound of the violent struggle causes the lion pride to raise their heads. 2 females rise and move slowly forward, curiously watching the cloud of red dust rolling up along the trail. One lowers its muzzle toward the brawl. The mamba immediately releases the eagle's wing, rears its head high, spreads its hood wide, and lets out a loud hiss of warning. The lioness stops. It recognizes that what stands before it is not prey, but a venomous threat. The mamba slowly slides out of the red dust and disappears into the low grass. The eagle snaps upright, spreading wings that are now slightly misaligned. Both lions still stand nearby as it fans its neck feathers, and opens its beak in warning after the life or death struggle. The two lions advance no further. The eagle quickly gathers itself and labors heavily off the ground, circling once before fading into the rising thermals above the savanna. Beneath the low grass, the mamba has vanished, leaving behind a patch of earth that even the top of the food chain chose to avoid. In the end, all three species walked away. No true winner, only creatures that understood survival sometimes matters more than continuing the fight. Far from the red patch of earth, a secretary bird, nearly 1.3 meters tall, strides across the blazing grassland, its scale armored legs ready for snake hunts across the ground. For this bird, the legs are the weapon, thick scales resistant to venom and kicks of tremendous force, moving steadily through the dry grass in search of the next prey. Ahead, a cobra nearly 2 meters long slides across open ground. The secretary bird immediately halts, lowers its neck, and holds a safe distance. The cobra quickly rears up, spreads its hood wide, and opens its mouth in a threat display. But the secretary bird only steps slowly sideways, forcing the snake to rotate with it. The snake suddenly lunges forward, but the moment its body is fully extended, a strike like a thunderbolt drives straight into its midsection, slamming the cobra down onto the red earth. On the next attack, the secretary bird again leaps backward at the right moment and delivers a reverse kick into the oncoming head, sending the snake staggering. By the third exchange, the cobra is slower. A kick straight down to the top of the head sends the snake's body thrashing across the ground, unable to raise its neck again. The secretary bird delivers a few more decisive kicks, then picks up the cobra's body and walks on across the grassland, as though the hunt just completed was nothing more than a routine part of the afternoon. It will continue sweeping through the grass until dusk, using its long legs and patience to bring down one snake after another with precise strikes. The sun-scorched grassland belongs to those who hunt from above. But to the west, among red rocks and scorching thorn bushes, another snake hunter appears, one that works at ground level through pure speed. A semi-desert stretches with cracked red rock and scattered cactus, as a small shape darts through the gaps in the stones so fast that the dust has not yet risen before it is gone. That is the roadrunner, a bird that hunts with long legs, a tail like a rudder, and a ground speed exceeding 40 kilometers per hour rather than wings. Ahead, a desert snake slides across open ground. The roadrunner spots the prey and immediately changes course, driving straight toward it without slowing. The snake quickly coils into a defensive posture, but the roadrunner simply circles continuously, forcing the opponent to keep changing direction until the movements of head and body begin to fall out of sync. The snake's strike misses. The moment its head extends forward, the roadrunner has already looped behind it, driving its beak hard into the back of the neck and slamming the snake's body against the red rock. Keeping the prey gripped in its beak, the roadrunner repeatedly slams the snake's body against the rock until the entire body goes limp and stops responding. Right where the chase ends, the hunter begins eating its prey. Each portion of the snake's body disappears between strong jerks and steady swallowing. On this arid land, the window of survival is always brief. Just minutes ago, a living creature was finding its way to survive. Now it has become the energy source sustaining another life. Across the savanna and semi-desert, each bird hunts in its own way. One uses talons, one relies on the force of its kicks, and the roadrunner depends entirely on speed. Every snake hunt between savanna and semi-desert is a gamble, because just one successful bite from a black mamba or a cobra is enough to end the hunter permanently. The eagle survived that morning because the mamba's fangs glanced off the thick neck feathers. Had they pierced the skin, the venom would have brought it down from the sky within minutes. For the secretary bird, the leg scales are the final line between life and death, because if the cobra could reach the unprotected thigh, the outcome would be entirely different. The roadrunner is different. No armor, no grip strength, only raw speed. Every loop around the snake is a bet of its life for the sake of its young. The brown eagle perches on a dry branch, wings pressed to its body, waiting for the bruised muscles to recover after the struggle. Further out in the afternoon grassland, the secretary bird still paces slowly through the yellow grass, knowing snakes are most active as temperatures begin to fall. Across the semi-desert, the mother roadrunner continues driving through the scorching rock crevices to find food. And beneath the acacia tree, the lions still lie there. And every time the wind stirs the grass ahead, they immediately raise their heads and look toward the place where the mamba once disappeared. Tomorrow, the eagle will circle the sky again. The secretary bird will step through the yellow grass, and the roadrunner will continue racing through the red rock. But the snakes will continue to exist as well. The race between talon and venom has no finish line, only the next round. When the last ray of sunlight leaves the savanna, the mamba still slides silently through the wind-stirred grass, fast enough and venomous enough that no one wants to cross its path a second time. The grassland of southern Africa, in the middle of the dry season, earth cracked open in great patches, grass burned flat, and the last water source vanished many weeks ago. But deep beneath the dry surface, a creature still exists. Its body nearly shut down, metabolism drastically reduced to hold on to its last reserves of moisture. Through months without eating or drinking, heart beating slowly, waiting for the familiar signal that will wake the body back to life. The sky to the west begins to darken, black clouds rolling low and carrying a damp wind. Then the first drops of rain fall onto the dry earth and seep into the cracks. The rain grows heavier, softening the parched soil, water pooling in small patches across the cracked surface, carrying moisture and new vitality to the arid land. Then the earth stirs. A crack widens, mud bursts upward, and from below, a large head with amber eyes slowly rises after months of concealment. The African bullfrog has a body as dense as a mass of muscle sunk in mud, jaws occupying nearly half its head, lined with small spike-like teeth. Once prey has entered, there is no escape. A body not built for running, it only needs to lie still and wait for prey to come to it. And after months of starvation, the hunting instinct rises back with full force. Small insects crawl across the wet mud. Another bullfrog lies watching the ground, its body blending almost completely into the mud color. A millipede passes close. The bullfrog's mouth snaps open, tongue fires out, jaws close. From the moment the prey touches down to the moment it disappears takes half a second. 10 minutes. Dozens of insects have vanished. The frog makes use of the brief rainy days to rapidly recover the energy burned away through the entire dry season. But insects are only the appetizer. For them, anything that fits in the mouth is food. And around the newly formed water pools, larger prey gradually appears. A field mouse steps out from the wet grass, searching for seeds along the water's edge, nose down low, completely unaware that death is waiting just ahead. It takes one more step, then the mud explodes. The frog's mouth snaps open, swallowing the mouse whole, locking every struggle down with the sharp teeth lining its mouth. The eyeballs press downward to help push the prey deeper into the throat. The mouse disappears, hind legs kicking weakly, then going still. The belly swells, but the mouth is already ready for the next one. 2 weeks after the rain, the savannah is drying again. Insects and small reptiles are more active, and the bullfrog has left the water pool, sitting motionless like a lump of dry mud on the red earth. A small snake slides past, just 20 centimeters away, tongue flickering, head raised to probe the environment. It is still too small to recognize the danger directly in front of it. The snake glides across the frog's field of view. A strike launches upward, misses. Red earth flies up as the prey attacks and tries to find a way out. The second lunge lands true. Jaws lock onto the head. Spiked teeth drive deep. The snake's body coils and tightens around the frog, but is pressed flat against the ground. The frog begins to swallow. The grassland returns to quiet. The frog, lying still under the warm sun, belly rounded and full, beginning the slow process of digestion after a series of heavy meals under the sunlight slowly returning. The rainy season brings not only food, but the opportunity to breed, when all activity must happen quickly before the last drop of water disappears. At the largest water pool in the area, dozens of males gather, throats swelling as deep calls roll across the savannah, drawing females and staking out control of the breeding center. The strongest male holds the central position where the water is deepest, while others ram, press, and bite each other to win the only chance to continue their lineage. When the female arrives, mating is quick. Eggs are fertilized immediately and cling to moss and grass, beginning a life cycle that must outrace the receding water. Tadpoles hatch, thousands of tiny bodies swimming frantically in the warming pool, eating algae and each other to grow, because their life cycle is shorter than the pool sustaining them. Many weeks pass, the harsh sun returns, The pool shrinks day by day from a wide pond to a small puddle. Tadpoles packed together in a life source that is steadily running out. And in the middle of the shrinking pool, the father frog stays. He looks at the mud ridge dividing two pools of water, then quietly uses his hind legs to break through the mud, channeling his young through to the water on the other side. After hours of digging mud, under the blazing sun, his strength is spent, skin dry, eyes half closed. Yet he has held on to the chance of life for thousands of tadpoles. A smaller frog enters the territory being guarded. But for the bullfrog, a smaller member of its own species can sometimes also become food. The lunge happens quickly and decisively. As the dry season turns back, the instinct to protect and the instinct to hunt exist within the same body. Tadpoles begin to grow legs, some metamorphosing into frogs in fewer than 3 weeks, fingernail-sized, leaving the muddy pool to step into the high-risk world above the waterline. But the moment they reach the bank, the young frogs face hunting birds, snakes around the water's edge, and other adult frogs, because when hungry, this species does not distinguish its own kind. Most do not survive the first week. Of thousands of eggs, only a few will still be alive by the following rainy season. But those that remain will grow into monsters like their father. The pool has dried completely. The last tadpoles have left, and the father frog gazes silently at the empty patch of earth, sitting at the edge of dry mud, sensing the heat of the dry season slowly returning. Then the old instinct wakes. It begins to dig, hind legs driving hard, body sinking gradually into the hardening mud, preparing for the next long sleep. Mud slowly covers the back, the head, then both eyes, leaving behind a water-retaining membrane that gradually encases the body like a survival cocoon for the dry months ahead. The earth cracks open again, grass burns flat under the scorching sun. The water pools vanish entirely, and deep below the dry ground, the bullfrog lies still with a slowing heart, waiting for the next rain. A young frog that survived the rainy season sits near the drying bank. No larger than a coin, it has just caught its first ant. Life starts here. If it survives the first dry season, it will burrow into a mud cocoon like its parents, then emerge after the rains, larger, stronger, with a mouth that grows wider with every hunting season. The hot wind sweeps across the savannah. The cracked, dry earth is completely silent, but deep below, hundreds of bullfrogs lie still inside their own water-retaining membranes. And that is how the African bullfrog survives. The most voracious predator on the savannah is also the one that buries itself in a sleep lasting many months, just to exchange it for a handful of opportunities. Field mice still search for seeds. Grass snakes still hunt, completely unaware that the danger sleeping beneath their feet needs only one rain to open its mouth. The rainy season will return, perhaps soon, perhaps late. But without needing to know the timing, it only needs to feel the first vibration when water touches the earth. The first raindrop will fall, the earth will soften, pools will form, insects will surge, and from beneath the cracks, amber eyes will open again, beginning a new hunting season. But for now, the grassland is still dry and hot, and deep beneath the dark earth, it still lies there, waiting. The ground trembles faintly. Not rain yet, only wind moving through the grass. But sooner or later, the water will return, and it will be here when that happens. At midday, the Namibian desert sinks into scorching heat. The air shimmers above the sand, and most creatures have already withdrawn into shade. But just beneath that seemingly still surface, a world of hunting continues without pause, where death arrives in ways no one anticipates. Look at that flat expanse of sand. It is concealing a perfect trap. A small, round trapdoor covered in sand and silk, perfectly camouflaged within the desert. Directly beneath that door, a trapdoor spider waits in silent ambush. From the burrow entrance, countless fine threads radiate outward, turning the surrounding sand into an invisible sensing net. A cricket wanders off course and touches a thread. A split second later, the trapdoor snaps open. The spider launches out and seizes the prey, then drags it straight underground, faster than a blink. In the dark burrow, venom seeps into the cricket's body and gradually liquefies everything inside. The spider then simply sucks out the contents and leaves behind an empty shell. That is death arriving quietly from within. But nearby, another hunter chooses a far more blunt approach, ending prey through raw, unadorned force. A burrowing scorpion with pincers as wide as a thumb. It barely needs its venom. A cricket walks past, the pincers snap shut, and the chitin shell shatters. The exposed flesh is torn apart immediately by its mouth parts. Same prey brought down, but it and the spider represent two completely opposing methods of hunting. On the same patch of sand, one creature was liquefied from within and one was crushed from without. Two outcomes, and neither shows any mercy. At the smallest scale, venom and strength are evenly matched. But as size increases, the two paths diverge further, and the price each hunter must pay grows heavier. That price is most visible in a Central American rainforest. Beneath shafts of sunlight filtering through the canopy, a pit viper lies coiled and still beneath dry leaves. A forest mouse picks through the undergrowth, nose close to the ground searching for seeds. Every tiny vibration travels up through the branches, and the eyes above immediately lock on. The pit viper strikes in a flash. Hollow fangs drive deep, pump venom, and release instantly. The mouse lurches upright and bolts through the leaf litter, believing it has escaped. But the venom has already spread silently through the body, destroying tissue. After a few more steps, the mouse staggers and collapses. Only now does the pit viper calmly follow the scent trail. Strike and release. That method saves energy. But right in this same forest, another hunter brings down prey the opposite way, by holding and never letting go. In the dense, dark, damp forest understory, a boa constrictor lies coiled. It carries no venom, but those muscular coils are enough to suffocate any prey. A mouse forges its way closer to the tree root, where the boa lies hidden. The moment the prey enters range, the boa launches like a spring and wraps tight around it. That method of constriction costs more energy, but leaves the mouse almost no chance at all. The boa swallows the prey whole right there, no need to follow a scent trail. Two hunters, two different bets. One trusts an invisible venom, the other trusts the coils of its own body. And the price each pays is nothing alike. At the middle scale, venom and strength each carry their own cost. But if the two were forced to face each other, who would remain standing? The answer is waiting in Africa. Here, nature places two extremes side by side. On one side, venom potent enough to kill a large animal. On the other, strength capable of hauling a carcass up a tree. At the edge of the East African savannah, late afternoon, a cobra more than 2 meters long glides quietly through low grass, head slightly raised, tongue continuously flickering to probe the air. In a tree 10 meters away, a leopard opens its eyes, the powerful shoulders tightening under the spotted coat. It has just spotted the shadow moving below. The cobra stops, raises half its body, and spreads its hood wide. That threat display has made many large mammals hesitate, but the leopard continues to press closer in silence. The first strike drives straight forward. The leopard tilts aside and sweeps a paw hard across the snake's body. The fangs only manage to sink into the grass. The second time, the venomous head snaps forward like a spring. The leopard immediately leaps back. When striking, the snake is extremely fast, but changing direction is always slower than a four-legged opponent. After only a few exchanges, the leopard has already identified that weakness. It keeps circling to the side, each step pressing closer behind the snake's head, beyond the reach of the fangs. Suddenly, the snake spits venom straight at the leopard's eyes. The leopard tilts its head just in time. The spray grazes past the ear and falls onto the grass. But every missed spit drains the snake's venom reserve. The next time, a portion of the venom catches the leopard's muzzle. The leopard jerks its head, eyes squeezing shut, staggering back several steps. The snake immediately seizes the upper hand. The snake rears again. The leopard seizes the opening and drives in, pinning its head to the ground. But in that same instant, the fangs also manage to sink deep into a paw. The struggle ends only when a dry crack of breaking bone sounds. The snake's body goes limp, but the last of its venom has already entered the leopard's bloodstream. Leaving the snake's body in the grass, the leopard walks on, but the venom is already destroying its body from within, and it collapses. The leopard falls. Its chest rises and falls more slowly with every breath, its eyes seeing nothing now, only the distant sound of buffalo carrying faintly to its ears. Venom overcomes strength. Strength overcomes venom. But the next creature is entirely different. Nothing sharp can penetrate it, and no drop of venom can seep into it. An East African riverbank at dusk, murky water drifting slowly by. 2 meters from the bank, a Nile crocodile moves beneath the surface, only its eyes breaking the waterline. A herd of impala picks its way to the water's edge, stretching their necks and lowering their heads to drink. Beneath the flat surface, the long shadow is already moving toward the slender legs. The water explodes. The enormous jaws launch out of the mud, clamp onto a leg, and wrench the impala downward. It claws frantically, but it is already too late. The crocodile rolls beneath the water, trailing mud and white foam. The prey thrashes desperately in the murky current, then disappears completely beneath the surface. Not long after, the stretch of river returns to its familiar calm. The crocodile's eyes still float in the current, while the impala herd has already retreated far from the water's edge. In bodies as enormous as that, strength decides nearly everything. But nature is not built only from massive jaws and great blocks of muscle. In rock crevices, beneath leaf litter, or inside tunnels under the sand, there is another world entirely, where a single drop of venom can accomplish what muscle cannot. Beneath the sand, the spider still waits behind its silk door. The scorpion holds its pincers ready among the rocks, and the snake waits in darkness for the first signal from prey. On the grassland, the bodies of the leopard and cobra gradually become part of the savannah. Out on the river, the crocodile lies still, as though the battle of the afternoon never happened. From the smallest creatures beneath the earth to the giants ruling the waterways, every species carries its own weapon, sharpened across millions of years. And right now, somewhere out there, another hunt has already begun. One careless step, one very faint vibration, sometimes that is all it takes to decide life and death. Before the burrow entrance, the puppies lie together. But behind that peaceful appearance are empty bellies and hunger growing larger by the hour. As the East African plains' smallest hunter, black-backed jackal lives in the gaps where lions, hyenas, or leopards always claim the decisive share. On the wide grassland, mother jackal leaves den, gliding light as a low shadow. She reads wind, traces signs, seeking the only thing that can save her pups, fresh meat. Weighing less than 15 kilograms, she's smaller than every hunter around her. But she cannot afford mistakes, because just one failure could end an entire generation. Few hundred meters away, mother warthog leads piglets digging roots on soft ground. Tiny young ones toddle around mother's legs, taking life's first steps. No hunter foolishly lunges at angry mother warthog with sharp tusks. But piglets less than a week old remain weakness that cannot be hidden. While foraging, she suddenly freezes, head snaps up. Open grassland shows nothing suspicious, but uneasy instinct has made her whole body tense. Piglets still carefree foraging. They don't know in distant grass. A black back is slipping through grass, advancing, not hiding itself, but deliberately allowing detection. She advances close enough for scent to reach mother warthog's snout, and reaction as predicted. Mother warthog notices. Body stands firm, tusks open in defensive stance. Jackal advances just slow enough to always stay in mother warthog's sight. No reaction, no attack, only keeping prey's gaze locked forward. Mother warthog has fully turned back toward piglets. All attention focused on opponent ahead. Breathing becomes more rapid. Behind, grass stirs slightly in rhythm, not belonging to wind. Two black shadows leap from behind, swift and precise, as if rehearsed 1,000 times. Before piglets can cry out, each jaw has snatched one prey, then vanished into grass seeds. Mother warthog spins around, seeing piglets diminished, tiny cries completely swallowed in tall grass. She chases few steps, then freezes. Jackal's scent has dispersed in all directions. She returns to flattened grass trace where piglets were just stolen. Snout touches still damp earth, moves around briefly. Search has ended before it could begin. Before burrow entrance, jackal pups fight over meat mother just brought back. Hungry whimpers turn into hurried chewing, adding bit of life force to young bodies. But that's not enough to feed entire growing litter. Mother jackal looks at still hollow bellies, then turns back toward grassland, leaving behind unfinished cries for food. Entire pack heads west again, where mother warthog still remains. They hunt not to stockpile, but because pups in den still wait for more food. By now, mother warthog has hidden remaining piglets in dense grass clump. Little ones nestle nursing. She lies beside, trying to regain strength after hours of tension. Grassland gradually settles. Wind only carries dry grass scent and hot earth. No more signs of predators that just appeared earlier. Then grass ahead stirs slightly off wind's rhythm. Behind also stirs in same pattern. Mother warthog jumps up, recognizing encirclement has closed around her. Jackal pack doesn't charge in again. After first success, they've learned hardest thing to overcome isn't mother warthog's tusks, but her position beside piglets. One steps out from low grass, then stands blocking ahead. It doesn't circle away like previous times, but deliberately holds position in mother warthog's sight. Mother warthog immediately charges forward. For her, driving predator away from piglets always safer than waiting for danger to approach. Jackal flees, not too fast for mother warthog to give up, nor too slow to be caught. It maintains exact distance that hunting instinct cannot easily ignore. Mother warthog accelerates. Each time seemingly about to touch, jackal edges few more meters away. Chase continues across increasingly wider grass spans. Then she suddenly freezes. Where are the piglets? Grass clump where they hid now only has young warthogs running. Jackal still continues running ahead, but this time, mother warthog no longer chases. Sudden unease grips her mind tightly. She turns, charging back, and right then, from distance rings out piercing shriek of one piglet, then second sounds. Cries continue rising, then fading, one after another. Distance just stretched now becomes something mother warthog cannot overcome. She sprints full speed across grassland. Dust kicks up after each stride, but each time, she always arrives one beat slower than jackal pack. Returning to shelter, only one remains huddled under mother's belly. Around it, flattened grass trails spread every direction like traces of just completed plunder. Only now does mother warthog understand jackal pack's tactics. They never intended to bring her down, only lured her away, letting distance itself finish off each piglet. But hunt isn't over yet. Remaining piglet suddenly loses composure, bolts from grass clump, charging straight into open ground ahead. One jackal immediately chases, each stride shortening distance. Young one too small and too slow, while mother warthog too far to save in time. Jaws only handspan from small tail. Everything seems settled. Then from behind, heavy snort tears through air. Mother warthog charges like furious mass of flesh, pouring last remaining strength into the gore. Tusks hurl nearest jackal flying. Entire pack startle scattering. Hunter suddenly becomes the struck. Lead male freezes, watching mother warthog spin within encirclement without retreating. Her eyes no longer fearful, only ferocity of one with nothing left to lose. Piglet runs back, hastily burrows into mother's belly. Mother warthog points tusks, slowly turns body shielding, making jackal pack standing distant, not dare risk further. Finally, jackal pack turns, leaving, this time for real. They run toward the den, each carrying one portion, bringing back to waiting pups. Before burrow entrance, jackal pups again rush out competing for food, bellies gradually filling. Mother jackal lies beside, breathing tired, long hunt traded for entire litter's fullness. While west, mother warthog leads final piglet away from grass field. Morning's crowded litter now only one small shadow staying close at her feet. Two families leave grassland in two directions. One side carries food, other side carries what remains of litter. Black-backed jackals aren't as strong as lions or hyenas. They survive through coordination, patience, and ability to turn small opportunities into large advantages. While warthogs endure through stamina and ferocity. When pushed to limit, even one mother can turn entire hunt around. These are two very different strategies, but both honed by same pressure: survival on East African plains. Here, hunters and prey continuously shape each other. Each successful tactic forces the other side to adapt better. Therefore, no species keeps advantage forever. Each surviving day is just one small win in game lasting across many generations. And when dawn returns, that race will continue. On this grassland, life belongs to those adapted enough to keep walking. Early sun covers the grassland. A male lion lies gasping on the verge of death. From where it lies, a long drag mark is imprinted, as if that body was just hauled some distance. Not far away are dense elephant footprints, each as wide as a serving platter. Strangely, only the lion's tracks lead toward the elephant herd, no other prints visible anywhere. Truth is, a male lion dying after recklessly confronting giants isn't uncommon. What kills them usually isn't weakness, but misjudging their own stature. And it all began yesterday afternoon, when the ill-fated one was still roaming alone. Instead of being wary, it fixed a provocative gaze on the massive elephant herd in the distance. Since leaving its pride, It had consecutively brought down slow-aging prey. Once it even brazenly seized a carcass right under a solitary hyena's muzzle. With each prey that fell, the illusion of its own strength added another layer. It forgot it was only a growing creature, mistakenly believing itself already master of this land. Before it, the elephant herd slowly crossed by. Young ones nestled, crowded in the middle. A seasoned hunter would have moved away, but not this one. Eyes locked on the smallest calf. Then it walked straight toward the elephant herd like a solitary figure marching into an army. Steps steady, eyes glued to the young one, it ignored the massive mother elephant standing right beside. Lion launched toward the young elephant, standing isolated at the edge. Mother elephant immediately spun around, but it didn't retreat at all, stubbornly holding its ground with blind confidence. Mother elephant pivoted, one pillar-thick foot came straight down onto the lion's back. Tons of weight crushing down made its body sink deep into earth, spine-shattering vertebra by vertebra. Done, the elephant herd calmly stepped onward, leaving the carcass behind without bothering to look back. Sometimes self-delusion is precisely what sends an animal to its grave fastest. But power delusion is only the first dark corner of animal psychology. Not far away, two cheetahs of the same bloodline and age carry completely opposite fates. The first named Coco, wearing gleaming sleek fur, belly round and full after a hunt. It chews slowly, gaze calm, because no fear has ever accompanied its meals. Complete opposite is Ghost, gaunt to the bone, rough coat, also just brought down prey. Yet it can't eat in peace. Every time it lowers its head, it immediately snaps back up, eyes darting everywhere. Just then, afternoon wind carried a string of hoarse laughter from afar. That hyena pack had not at all spotted the two cheetahs or scented the meat. They were only calling each other out there. Coco only flicked an ear briefly, then lowered back to chewing, unconcerned by distant sounds. But Ghost, hearing exactly that sound, had already sprung up, abandoning the entire meal, eyes flooded with fear. Without hesitation, Ghost bolted away, leaving the prey it just brought down lying on the grass. It went a full kilometer away, though the hyenas were in the opposite direction, not approaching at all. Right as it fled, muscles tensed on Ghost's shoulder, old wounds clearly visible. Those are traces of a terrifying prey theft from the previous year, imprinting obsession into its mind. This was the third time this season it abandoned a meal because of vague sounds. Hunts well, but rarely gets to eat full, because every meal for it hovers with lurking danger. Sure enough, a lone hyena sauntered over, leisurely consuming the portion Ghost left behind. It was more than capable of chasing that one off, but wasn't foolish enough to trade its life for one bite. Eating its fill, Coco rolled over, sleeping soundly under the afternoon light lingering on the grass, while Ghost lay hollow-bellied, curled far away, bitterly watching the hyena take the final bite. Same bloodline, equal in build, yet fate split in two by one single obsession. Just as the entire land sank into stillness, the east suddenly rang out with a long, mournful howl. That was a wild dog's howl, but not the signal calling the pack to hunt. Only the sound of one solitary one, weakening with each beat, the sound of one seeking its pack while no one answers. That young hunter stood stranded amid tall grass, ears raised, eyes sweeping around in panic, Just because it lingered a few minutes when the pack crossed the thicket, it had lost track of the entire family. Being a species almost entirely dependent on pack, wild dogs fear solitude greatly. The moment separated from kindred, its mind falls apart, unable to maintain clarity. So it bolted off in all directions, swerving one way, then cutting another without finding anyone. Those chaotic running circles didn't bring it back to the pack, only widened the distance. Calls grew fainter with the panicked creature's broken breathing. Ironically, on bare open grassland, those who heard it clearest were hunters rather than its own kind. Hearing those sounds, a lioness lying nearby immediately pricked ears. In her eyes, the young dog, stranded without pack protection, was no different from a meal delivering itself. It little knew every rescue call was inadvertently inviting death closer. In the western grass patch, a pale yellow shadow silently parted grass, advancing, smooth and utterly deadly. When the predator revealed itself fully, instead of bolting, it should have, young dog stood rooted. Extreme panic paralyzed its reflexes, turning it into a motionless statue. Hunter launched decisively. Everything ended in just one instant. Young one's life extinguished right on the grassland, only a few hundred meters from its own pack. As sun paled, the wild dog pack tracked signs, finding where the young one fell. After nuzzling the last fading warmth, they raised heads, howling a farewell. Farewell song not yet faded, earth beneath the dog pack's feet began trembling and rumbling. Not the footfall of elephants or lions, but seismic force from countless hooves. The entire northern horizon darkened to murky, seeming like clouds, yet being countless animal bodies. That was the great wildebeest migration flooding southward. Each year, over 2 million follow reins, wandering for new grassland. Blocking that journey is the Mara River, with its steep banks and lurking crocodiles. One leading individual stopped startled right at the steep bank, hesitating before a fierce current. Behind, the million following had no idea, kept pushing forward relentlessly, pressing them toward the edge. Weight from behind kept surging. Those at front didn't plunge in of their own will. They were shoved by kindred, while those doing the shoving were themselves pushed by the layer behind, impossible to hold back. One by one, they tumbled headlong off the rock bank, plunging headfirst 2 meters into the water. Then a second, third, then an entire long chain poured in one after another because those behind wouldn't stop. Momentarily, layer upon layer of animal bodies crashed down, tier stacking on tier. Those below suffocated under weight. Those just surfacing were immediately pushed under by the next arrival, river section resounding with bellowing. Below, the crocodile pack barely needed to expend effort hunting. Prey kept tumbling off the cliff face above, offering themselves right into gaping jaws, waiting ready. Cruelly ironic, right nearby was a gentle sloping bank leading gradually down to water. That spot was completely deserted, not one breaking from the flow to go there, because the frenzy had swept everything away. Entire herd reaching the riverbed struggled climbing up the other side, but that was also a steep reverse slope. Hemmed in between two sheer cliff faces, they trampled over kindred, finding no way out. Only much later did the migration flow thin out, last one splashing across, then reaching the far bank. The cruel truth was, most deaths today came from crushing and trampling, not at all from the reptiles below. Despite the stretch of river left in chaos behind, surviving animals continued south. Behind, another million creatures were advancing, the next day again converging on the same old cliff edge. Evening descends, Mara River flows slow, well-fed crocodiles lie savoring. On the bank, vultures pick at portions, waves washed in, water quietly carries surplus downriver. On the cliff face, morning's hoof-mark gouges still hold their impressions. Water below has settled crystal clear, yet to the north, dust clouds already billow, signaling a new wave of migration. At the gentler bank nearby, zebra herd leisurely lowers heads beside calm water. No one would guess this spot just this midday was still thundering hooves and bellowing wildebeest. But right beneath that clear water, a just satiated crocodile's eyes still quietly watch upward. It lies motionless, pressed near the water surface, gaze never leaving the muzzles dipping low. On a dry acacia branch, a martial eagle sits motionless as though carved into the sky. Its sharp eyes sweep slowly across the ground below, missing no movement. At the base of the acacia, the mouth of a rabbit burrow is visible. A rabbit pokes its head out to scent the air, then takes a few steps out to graze, hind legs still angled toward the burrow ready to retreat. The eagle tilts its head and locks onto the target, but the prey is only 2 steps from the burrow entrance and would dive inside before the talons could make contact. Yet the hunter cannot wait. It folds its wings and dives straight down like an arrow, talons extended. But the rabbit hears the wind rushing and springs backward into the burrow. The eagle already knows it has lost the prey. The eagle beats its wings back to the same branch. It tilts its head to look down at the dark burrow entrance where the prey just vanished. A breakfast that slipped from its talons within arm's reach. The eagle missed because it struck half a second too early. Even the Lord of the Sky, with its eyes and speed, can miscalculate by a single moment. Morning sun stretches across the open grassland all the way to the horizon. Beside a bush, a cheetah lies flat, intently watching a gazelle grazing slowly in the distance. To be certain, it needs to close to within 50 meters before accelerating. But across that open expanse, 1 step too many, and the prey detects it. Losing patience, it bursts from the bush like a bolt of lightning, reaching nearly 100 km/h within 3 strides. But the gazelle has already spotted it and bolts when the cheetah is still halfway there. The cheetah pursues for 10 more seconds, then slows, its body already overheated. When the gazelle disappears beyond a distant rise, it stops in the middle of the grassland and sits panting. This is the paradox of the fastest runner. The harder it sprints, the faster it burns out. One missed lunge is not only a lost meal, but an entire afternoon of recovery. But on the grassland, there is a species that does not need to be the fastest, only the most relentless. At midday, a pack of wild dogs is herding an impala straight toward a marsh. The blazing sun pours down on the grassland beside the marsh. The wild dogs take turns leading the pace. When one tires, another surges forward, relentlessly tracking the impala for more than a kilometer. With skilled sharp turns, the impala continuously changes direction looking for a gap. But the wild dogs do not let up for a second, pushing it steadily toward the edge of the marsh. The impala does not slow. It drives straight into the water. Each powerful stroke carries it across to the far bank, leaving the entire pack behind. The whole pack pulls up at the water's edge, eyes fixed on the escaped prey. One touches a paw to the mud, then steps back. The duckweed covering the murky surface makes them hesitate. The dog closest to the bank just leans down when the duckweed directly in front of it explodes upward, mud and water spraying everywhere. It leaps sideways in time, barely avoiding the first snap, then turns and scrambles back up the bank. But the mud is slippery and its foot gives way. That is all the crocodile needed. It drives forward with the momentum, clamps onto the dog's hind leg, and drags it back toward the murky water. The wild dog thrashes frantically, tearing free from the crocodile's jaws, and crawls back near the bank. But the predator does not let go. It lunges again, bites onto the dog's neck, and pulls it back. Two dogs on the bank drive in, biting the back and flank of their packmate and hauling it upward. A fierce struggle erupts, but the crocodile is stronger, pulling the animal inch by inch away from the bank. Then every movement seems to stop at once. The dogs on the bank fall silent, eyes fixed on the flat water surface. Suddenly, the wild dog surges upward one final time, summoning every last reserve to tear itself onto the bank. The wild dog barks and bares its teeth in a threat display, forcing the crocodile to retreat into the water. As the stirred mud settles, the truth becomes clear. The dog that just escaped has already lost a leg. The entire pack gathers around the injured one in protection, eyes locked on the water. They do not abandon their packmate, but a member that cannot run cannot last long. Beneath the duckweed, the crocodile silently sinks and swims away. That perfect ambush, in the end, yielded nothing. The prey escaped. On the far side of the marsh, the impala stands and watches across the water. The one that was just chasing it now lies at the water's edge, missing a leg, surrounded by the silent watch of the pack. Then it turns and walks, unhurried, into the wet grass. Only the three-legged one is left behind with its wounds. Its days of hunting have ended here. The wild dog pack still stands close, unwilling to leave. But a pack that does not hunt means a pack that goes hungry, and the midday sun is burning through energy that no one can earn back. The wild dog pack lingers beside their packmate. As the sun tilts toward gold, not far away, a new confrontation is quietly forming in the yellow grass. The lion pride drags its starved bodies across the grassland, bellies sunken after an entire day without a kill. Then they stop. Ahead, a bull buffalo grazes alone, separated from the herd. To the lion pride, this looks like a gift. A large prey, alone, with its head down and its guard lowered. Broad shoulders, curved horns, but no formation to protect it. But that appearance deceives them. A fully grown male buffalo carries nearly a ton of muscle, with horns capable of launching anyone who dares press close. Unaware of this danger, the lion pride quietly spreads out and circles wide to the rear. The afternoon breeze blows against them, masking their scent, each step tightening the encirclement. The lioness from behind springs forward, talons finding grip on the shoulder. But the buffalo reacts instantly. Four legs planted, a powerful sweep of the horns sending the lioness off its back. Without pausing, the buffalo charges directly at the male lion. Nearly a ton driving forward, Horns aim straight. The male leaps aside but does not escape the horn's point. The male lion is wounded in the body. The entire pride now understands this is no easy prey, and one by one, they turn and withdraw, not one of them looking back. The buffalo stands in the middle of the clearing, heaving breath, body lightly wounded, but its horns still bear the marks of the enemy. The shadows of the lions have disappeared entirely. The buffalo has returned to the herd, and the lion pride lies sprawled, licking wounds. The price for misjudging their prey is a day of empty stomachs and battered bodies. But the day has not yet closed. At a bend in the slow-moving river, the final mistake is waiting to be made. The line between life and death is just one step placed in the wrong spot. Beneath the soft mud along the murky riverbank, a Nile crocodile, over 5 meters long, has been lying in ambush since morning, so motionless that even the current has forgotten its presence. A zebra herd arrives to drink, calmly lowering their muzzles to the water. The one standing closest to the bank is now exactly one stride away from the jaws that have been waiting there for many hours. The crocodile launches upward, mud flying in all directions, jaws opening wide aimed at the front legs of the nearest zebra. But the lunge skids on the soft mud, deflects by a few centimeters. That margin is enough. The herd jolts into panic and bolts from the bank. The crocodile crashes back into the mud, jaws empty, its all-day ambush position now revealed. It settles back into the mud, watching the bank empty. It will have to wait many more hours until another herd forgets the danger and returns to drink at this exact spot. As the sun drops low, the grassland gradually returns to quiet. 5 hunts took place today, and strangely, all 5 hunters ended the day with empty bellies. Each prey survived in its own way, one through speed, one through its horns, one through the water, one through the herd. The only thing they had in common, none of them made a fatal mistake. And every hunter that failed did so for the same single reason. One moment of impatience, one foot placed in the wrong spot, one target chosen in error. On this grassland, that is all it takes. The savannah softens, traces fade. Today belonged to the hunted, because every hunter made exactly one mistake, and one mistake is enough. But tomorrow, the sun will rise. The hunters will stalk again. The prey will run again. And the grassland will again wait to see who makes the first mistake. Under the early morning sun, the grassland ripples in waves. Among a cluster of flowers by a stream, a bee lands to drink nectar without noticing that the flower beside it has just turned its head. A flattened, glittering body with 4 legs, spread like open petals, gives the orchid mantis perfect camouflage, its gaze continuously tracking the bee's every movement. When the bee lands on the flower right beside it, less than 2 centimeters away, the 4 legs folded tight to the chest part slightly, the compound eyes rotate 180 degrees and lock precisely onto the prey's position. The moment the bee bows its head to drink nectar, those 4 legs snap out in an instant, the sharp spines closing around the body. The bee's wings beat frantically a few times, then go still. The mantis brings the prey to its mouth, small jaws grinding through the chitin shell until only the thin wings remain, slowly falling down through the grass. A clean end to the first hunt of the day. After eating, it cleans its 4 legs with its mouth, then sways gently with the leaf rhythm, blending back into the vegetation. compound eyes still catching the rhythm of every movement on the surrounding branches. A few meters away, a small lizard crawls along a tree trunk without noticing that above it, the predator has already begun tracking its every step. In the midday sun, a green leaf mantis, roughly half the lizard size, sways its body like a real leaf, quietly sending movement signals to draw prey closer. The distance narrows to just 3 centimeters. The lizard finally notices the strange movement ahead. It freezes, studies the opponent carefully, then slowly lowers its head. The tongue is about to fire, but before the lizard can act, the mantis has already struck first. The folding forelegs snap down over the head before the tongue can retract. The lizard thrashes violently, but the grip locked around its head prevents any effective counterattack. Repeated bites begin targeting the soft tissue around the edges of the mouth. Channeling every remaining ounce of strength, the lizard wrenches hard and flings the mantis off the branch, breaking one of its hind legs. But the opening lasts only a moment. The mantis lunges again. The second lock is more decisive. Having fully subdued the prey, the mantis begins using its jaws to chew through the body, piece by piece, methodically consuming the opponent. The previous hunts all had a stable foothold, but this time, the mantis must hold its prey in midair, where a hummingbird hovers with wing beats at 70 times per second. In a tropical garden covered in red and violet blooms, a tiny body hovers before a nectar feeder, wings blurring into a haze in the sunlight. On the leaf, the green shadow has remained motionless for many hours. It lost one leg in this morning's hunt, but the front legs are still intact and folded tight against its chest, waiting. The hummingbird moves closer, its hum vibrating softly in the air. It dips its beak into the flower's center, into the nectar, just under 1 centimeter from the already parting forelegs. The moment it tastes the sweetness, the forelegs snap closed around the bird's neck, spines driving through thin feathers, sending the animal into a panic that pulls both off their position and into a spin through open air. Both fall into the shrubs below, where the final struggle ends. The mantis pins the prey down, pulling away small pieces through the thin feather layer. 2 hours later, only a few traces remain on the leaves. The wind will carry the last fragments away. The mantis will clean its forelegs, and it will turn toward the next prey. The previous prey were all smaller or comparable in size. But this time, the opponent is far longer, has sharp fangs, and attacks first, pushing the mantis into a reactive position. In low tropical shrubs under harsh sunlight, a green vine snake glides across a branch, tongue flickering for scent, but the smell of leaves masks the ambushed predator above. The snake stops beneath the branch, raises its head to probe the area, then detects movement. It lunges upward and bites one of the mantis's legs, opening a counterattack. The mantis bites back at the snake, but the snake's skin is too tough, so the mantis drops its prey onto a dry branch and escapes, leaving the mantis standing motionless on the tree. But the greatest danger does not come from prey. It comes from its own kind. The breeding season forces the male to approach a female much larger than itself, carrying those lethal hunting forelegs. The female mantis stands on a high branch, abdomen swelling with eggs. Below, a male half her size advances slowly from behind to stay out of her dangerous reach. Each step forward is broken by pauses to observe which direction the female's head is turned. The moment her head turns back, the male immediately freezes, blending into the branch. 10 minutes pass. The male is now pressed close behind. He waits for the female to lower her head to feed, then immediately climbs onto her back, mating beginning amid the risk of being torn apart. A few minutes later, the female's head suddenly swings back. The hunting forelegs snap shut in an instant, closing down over the head of the mate trying to escape. The male wrenches hard trying to break free, but the size disadvantage leaves him unable to move. The female begins consuming the head, while the lower body continues its reflex mating motions by instinct. Half an hour later, the remaining body parts will become the final protein source nourishing the growing eggs, turning the mate into a meal before laying begins. Among the branches, the female folds her forelegs close to her chest, abdomen swelling steadily with developing eggs. In the days ahead, she will find a suitable dry branch, wrap the next generation into an egg case, and leave. The ootheca slowly hardens under the sun, becoming a shield against weather and danger. But the body that formed it will not live long enough to see the day the eggs hatch. Many weeks later, her movements slow. A column of ants approaches the mother mantis, a body that survived countless hunts, finally brought still beneath an army. Above on the branch, the egg case still clings in place. Inside, hundreds of eggs are growing, protected by the last shield the mother left behind. A few weeks later, the foam casing splits open. Hundreds of mantis nymphs clamber over each other and emerge at once, hunting forelegs already folded and the first hunger already rising. And the first meal is not aphids, it is their own siblings. The faster ones immediately lock onto the necks of those beside them, opening a wave of cannibalism from the very first minute. Of the hundreds that emerge at once, numbers drop sharply within the first hour. The survivors scatter in every direction, leaving behind the first battlefield of their lives. But the grassland is also full of danger. Birds, lizards, and spiders continuously hunt every small movement, keeping the survival chain in constant reversal and swallowing the weak. Fewer than 1 in 10 survive the first week, but each survivor has already passed its first molt, body harder, longer, with forelegs beginning to resemble the mother's. On the old branch, the egg case is now empty, the shell slowly weathering in sun and wind. Below the tree, ants have cleaned away every trace, as though nothing ever existed. On the branch beside it, a nymph that has molted twice stands motionless, forelegs folded close to its chest, body swaying with the wind, compound eyes sweeping the leaf surface below. Compound eyes reflecting the late-day sun, forelegs folded against the chest, motionless, silent, waiting, as every generation before it has done. Afternoon sun pours into the Luangwa River Gorge, murky yellow light illuminating vertical rock faces covered in damp moss where space is suspiciously silent. A few kingfishers dive to the water surface, then dart up, only wing beats echoing in the gorge's quietness. Everything else seemingly motionless. On the cliff edge, a lion pride stands close together, heads bowed observing, eyes not on the water, but focused on the individual in danger. Below, among smooth rocks near the water's edge, a lioness struggles to climb up, claws gripping the surface, but continuously slipping, getting closer to dangerous waters. Lions are large cats dominating many of Africa's dry ecosystems. With male lions weighing up to 180 kilograms, they top the food chain wherever they reach. But all those advantages are designed for flat terrain. On steep, slippery rock surfaces, features once advantageous become disadvantages. The lioness weighs about 130 kilograms, pulling her own body up the sloped face. Gravity quickly overwhelms pulling force, making efforts extremely exhausting. She fell while pursuing prey over the cliff edge, a small miscalculation leading to a long slide, placing her in a life-threatening situation. On the bank, the lion pride still observes. A low roar rings out, but no individual descends, because they know this rock face is a one-way trap. Below, the female tries to grip again. Front legs find footing, but the surface is unstable, pushing force insufficient to hold the body, and she slides down again. Distance to water surface continues closing. Current position not only disadvantageous in terrain, but also conceals another danger. A small ripple spreads from downstream, not from wind, not from current, but a sign of a creature slowly approaching. The lioness recognizes immediately. Eyes lock onto two black points floating on water surface. Alarm, instinct activates. Sounds emitted carry obvious tension. Two black points motionless like rotten logs gradually surfacing, but hidden below is a 4-meter body. The real danger has appeared. And it didn't come alone. Ripples appear from different directions, all heading toward the same point, the cliff base where the lion clings. To understand the danger below, one must know that the creature patiently waiting has existed millions of years, with body structure evolved optimally for hunting. Nile crocodiles reach 5 meters long and weigh over 700 kilograms, and possess bite force among the strongest of animals still existing on Earth. Their tactics rely on ambush, lying motionless for hours, then attacking extremely fast, optimizing energy and ensuring high success probability. After locking jaws, crocodiles drag prey underwater and perform the death roll, inflicting serious damage, and prey quickly loses resistance capability. They can fast for months. Each meal is a long-term investment, so when there's opportunity, they'll thoroughly consume prey. On the rock face, the lioness understands the situation clearly. Above is an unclimbable slope. Below is enemy territory. Now she's trapped between two threats. She moves horizontally along the narrow rock strip, seeking climbable points, each step carefully gripping wet rocks, eyes not leaving water surface. Each step is hope, but also risk. Below, the crocodile pod maintains stable distance, moving parallel. They're not rushing to approach, only maintaining position and waiting for more favorable conditions. The lion discovers a lower section of cliff, but must cross a 2-meter wide shallow water stretch, a short distance, but full of risk. She suddenly lunges the mound, racing quickly across the water. And in the same moment, a crocodile surges up. Jaws snap shut right where she just been left, only 1 beat late. The lion grips rocks on the other side, struggling to pull herself up. The crocodile watches from behind underwater. This time escaped, but terrain on this side still slippery and steep, no easier at all. She continues climbing short sections, then sliding down again. Each time losing momentum, position gets closer to water surface, and safe distance gradually closes. The third slip makes hind legs touch water. The lion flinches, jumping back up, but too late. A crocodile lunges, jaws reaching for hind legs. The lion roars, concentrates force on front legs as anchor points. Shoulder muscles tense, resisting overwhelming pulling force from water surface. The struggle increasingly intense. The crocodile bites and slips. The lion escapes. The lion springs onto the rock strip, breathing heavily, while the crocodile sinks, carrying anger. The lion gradually tires and cannot stay in one place long. For crocodiles, that's a signal. They adjust positions, tighten encirclement, distance only, meters remaining. The lioness has no choice left. Cannot climb up, cannot stay. Survival space shrinks by the minute. She moves faster, abandoning fear. Each step, each short leap utilizing every remaining foothold on the slippery rock strip. The crocodiles no longer wait. They simultaneously surge up when the lion crosses the narrow water section, jaws snapping shut consecutively in splashing water. The lion reaches the final rock outcrop. Ahead is the only gentle bank, but separated by a deep water section, while predators have closed in from behind. She looks at the shore, looks at the water surface, then looks at 3 shadows closing in and jumps down. 4 legs touch water. The lion begins swimming as fast as possible toward shore. Distance, gradually from shore, legs still touching bottom. But behind, crocodiles are accelerating. The largest submerges, disappears. This is the most dangerous moment. The lion nearly reaches shore. Front legs grip earth, pulling body up, but injured hind leg lacks strength, making her slide down, and that's all the crocodile needs. From behind, a crocodile surges up and locks jaws onto the rear section. Massive pulling force jerks the lion back into the water. The second crocodile immediately lunges in, clamping tight on front shoulder. 2 pulling forces from 2 directions make the lion sink half submerged. Only head and 1 front leg protruding. The death roll begins. Lion's body dragged completely under. Water surface churns violently, then gradually settles, returning to initial calm. Water surface returns to stillness. No more sounds or movement, only a few small ripples fading on the surface. The grassland ruler has sunk from here. Above, the lion pride stands silent. Calling sounds echo down, no response. Only wind blowing through the gorge echoes back. After several tries, they fall silent. After a few minutes, one by one, leaves the cliff edge. They leave without looking back. On the plains, prolonging loss is also putting oneself at risk. Below the Luangwa River, crocodiles drag prey to the deep bottom, holding it for natural decomposition process before beginning the meal. Nile crocodiles can fast for months, and today's meal is a 130-kilogram lioness, enough to feed them for many weeks. The confrontation closes according to environmental law. When entering water, advantage belongs to water-adapted creatures. On that territory, all land advantages lose value. The lion pride loses a member. Movement rhythm and behavior will change in following days, reflecting adjustment to risk. Dusk arrives. Landscape returns to familiar state, leaving almost no clear traces of the event just occurred. The lion pride stops to rest in tall grass area far from the river. They lie closer together, the gap of one individual becoming obvious in the silent formation. Each encounter leaves marks in blood. Later decisions will change through reflexes formed from experience. Below the river, crocodiles continue moving slowly. Eyes, nose protruding, then sinking back. The observation cycle and endless patience count again from the start. In the Luangwa ecosystem, lions and crocodiles share the food chain apex, each species dominating half the world. When boundaries are erased, advantage belongs to the side adapting better to conditions at that moment. Each rainy season, water rises. Dry season, water recedes. Boundaries continuously change. Encounters repeat. No permanent winner, only temporary adaptation. Today's lioness didn't fail from lack of strength. On land, she's the ruler. But when conditions change, mass and body structure itself become disadvantages. Conversely, crocodiles don't need to be faster or stronger in all circumstances. They only need the right environment, where their advantages are maximized. Sun sets over Luangwa. On shore, lions rest in tall grass. Below water, crocodiles hide. Two parallel worlds, meters apart, but deciding survival. Tomorrow morning, though one individual fewer, the lion pride's rhythm doesn't stop. They'll avoid the riverbank, continue hunting on grasslands, and remember dangerous boundaries. Night wind blows through the gorge, carrying scents of mud and damp grass. Traces on rocks gradually disappear. Bank edge returns as before. Nature erases what once occurred. Under moonlight, crocodiles hide in flat water. In a world where mistakes mean endings, silence sometimes is the sign of danger itself.